So, yes. So, before starting a video, so hello all. Yes. So, you'll be having an internal exams in the month of January from Jan 6th to 8th, I guess. So, the syllabus for this first internals is like up to the second unit. So far we have covered very few concepts from this unit 2. Because of this back to back holidays and you may also in the coming days we'll be having a less count of classes to cover all these concepts in the mode of theory classes. So I've chosen this way to record a videos and explain all the concepts through videos. So I'll be posting all these videos in your Google Classroom. Please follow the videos, understand the concepts, and maintain the notes. Okay. So I'll be checking each and every one notes in the coming week. If you are not maintaining any notes, no attendance will be given. Okay. If there is no attendance, you're not allowed to write the first internal exams. Okay. So make sure understand the concept, watch the videos, and maintain the notes. Clear? So if you are facing any problem, any issue about these videos and you're not understanding the concepts and all, please directly ping me up or call me anytime. I'm always there to help you out. Clear? So let's start this videos. Let's start the video. So what is the second unit all about? Second unit all about is like requirement engineering. So what is this requirement engineering about? Gathering all the requirements which are involved in developing a software. So in this requirement engineering process and all, we'll be creating a software requirement specification document. So what is this requirement specification? So requirement specification is nothing but it is like a document that defines the expected behavior of a system or a software, clear, which you're going to develop. So it's like it ensures what this software requirement specification like it is used by all the stakeholders like users, clients, developers, and testers to understand the requirement clearly. So for example, I explained some example called this push cart app shopping app, right? This is one of e-commerce website. So the requirement specification which includes means the requirements of this push cart app is like user should able to search for the products, user should be able to add items to their cart, and user should able to make payments using this credit card, some or some different payment modes and all. These are the requirements which are to be included in this requirement specification document of this push cart software. Okay, fine. This is all about this requirement specification. I hope it is very clear up to here. Very clear till here. So moving to this second next topic, which is about this functional requirement specification. So far we have discussed about this requirement specification. So requirement specification is all about a document which defines the requirements. So the requirements can be a functional requirements and some non-functional requirements. So all those, the difference between the functional and non-functional requirements will be explained in the coming videos. So but now, what is this functional requirement about? Functional requirement specification, in short, it is also known as FRS. Okay, FRS is a type of a requirement specification that focuses on the specific functionalities or the features that system must perform. It's like in simple words, it describes what the system can do or what a system should do. Okay, because it is primarily used for this developers and testers to build and test the product accordingly. Okay, for suppose what are the key elements of this functional requirement specification are like inputs, processes, and outputs. To understand this clearly, let us look into this real-time example. So I explained one example. I have given one example in your during the classes. It's like a pre-and food delivery app. So what is this input? What is this food delivery app? What is the functionality of this food delivery as the app is like? The user enter a delivery address and select the items to order. Okay, first a user has to give a delivery address so that it will give a list of restaurants which are available in that locality, and then the users select items to order, right? So what is the internal process? Internal process is like the system calculates the delivery charges based on the location and process and order in the backward. For suppose the User address is somewhere 20 kilometers away from the restaurants. So it calculates the total distance, nothing but a delivery cost. Okay, nothing but a delivery cost in the backend. Okay, the output is like the user receives an order confirmation with the estimated delivery time. So all this delivery time, the estimated, for suppose it takes 40 minutes to prepare the food and deliver at the address, the given address and all. So everything will be calculated in the backend and given as an output. This is the functionality of this Priyanshi food delivery app. Clear? These all things comes under this functionality requirement specification. Clear? It is very clear up to this functionality requirement specification. And moving to the next topic, this is nothing but a requirement elicitation. So requirement elicitation is the first and primary step which is involved in preparing a requirement specification document. What is the requirement elicitation process? Requirement elicitation process is nothing but a gathering of requirement from the stakeholders, including some end users. End users are nothing but users, okay, customers and clients and business leaders. So it is the critical step. Okay, it is a primary step in software development to ensure the solution meets the expectations. So there are different techniques involved in this requirement elicitation process to gather the requirement from various stakeholders. So one of the technique is like interviews. So direct discussions with the stakeholders to understand the needs. Like, for example, a project manager interviews a restaurant owner to learn more about the inventory system they require. The inventory system in the sense about this a restaurant module. Suppose what are the things, what are the items they want to list, how to list out the things, the dashboard, how to manage the pricing for the each product and each item and all. Everything will be managed in this restaurant owner module and all. And the next technique is like a surveys and the questionnaires. So it is nothing but gathering a feedback from the larger audience. So why this surveys and all is like, for example, conducting a surveys to ask a potential users and nothing but a customers about a preferred payment option for an app. For suppose Priyanshi food delivery app is all about implementing some payment integration tools. For suppose they want to integrate some payment gateways, it will be very expensive. So rather than that, they want to conduct some surveys to the customers, so which is a preferred app and all. So preferred payment preferred payment way for integrating into the software and all. So as per the surveys, the result is like many of the customers are opted for this custom COD option. So COD, I'm some for the UPI option. So they will be finalizing this COD, cash on delivery option, and UPI option, and they will be integrating these two payment options into this Priyanshi food delivery app. So what is this workshop about? Workshops is like nothing but a collaborative sessions with the stakeholders to brainstorm ideas and clarify needs. A very good example is like a workshop with the teachers to identify the features required in a learning management system. Suppose if the developing any learning management system, which is nothing but a learning platform, so they'll be conducting a workshop with the most experienced faculty members and the teachers to identify the features which are required to add into this learning management system and all. So yes, a collaborative sessions with the stakeholders to add some key features to the particular system and all. So which are nothing but a workshops. So this is one of the technique which is involved in this requirement elicitation process to gather the requirements. Okay, I hope it is very clear up to this requirement elicitation process. And coming to the next topic, it is all about this requirement analysis. So what is this requirement analysis? So requirement analysis is the process of reviewing, refining and prioritizing the gathered requirements. What it ensures that requirements are clear, complete, consistent and feasible. Clear means it is understandable for all the stakeholders of a particular software development team, and it is complete, there is no pending requirements, and consistent, there is no change, and feasible, it is achievable or not. Everything will be studied in this requirement analysis phase. So how this what are the steps involved in this requirement analysis is like categorization. So here the classify requirements, this categorization means in this particular categorization step, the requirements will be classified into functional and non-functional. So the difference, so let us take an example to understand this functional and non-functional requirements. What is this functional requirement about? Functional requirement is nothing but a login feature. So take an example of this pre-and shift delivery app. So the users has to log in first. Okay, login. So what is the non-functional requirement? So if the user enters this mail id and a password, the login successful, they have to log in into particular pre-and food delivery app in less than 2 seconds. This is a non-functional requirement, and the functional requirement is like login feature. So this is the basic difference between the functional and a non-functional requirement with a real-time example. Fine. So what is this second step? Second step in this requirement analysis is like prioritization. Prioritization is nothing but decides which feature are critical and which can be deferred. It's like the critical and the first priority step is developed first, and the later and the other things will be implemented the later. So it's like example for a taxi app, ride booking is a critical feature, and while ride sharing solutions must be the secondary part. Okay. So next, what is coming to this feasibility study? What is this feasibility study about? Determines if the requirements can be implemented within the project constraints like budget and time. So it's like in the given budget, that too in the given time, is this project achievable or not, will be studied in this particular feasibility study phase. Clear? Feasibility study step. So what is this last step is about the documentation. Documentation nothing but after everything will be finalized, like classifying the functional and non-functional requirements and prioritizing the requirements and the feasibility study, and after the feasibility study and all, everything will be documented. Okay, documented is nothing but the software requirement specification document is created, so that it should be understand, it should be finalized and should be very clear for the stakeholders and developers to implement the project. Clear? So this is about this requirement analysis phase. So let us look into this real time examples of combining of all these steps. So for creating this requirement specification document, the first and foremost step, the primary step is like requirement elicitation. In this requirement elicitation, it uses some techniques. So what are the different techniques for gathering the requirements from the different stakeholders? So here the step is like what is example, a bank wants to build a mobile banking app. So it conducts in the requirement elicitation phase, it is conducting some interviews and conducting surveys from the customers, and interviews with the bank managers to understand the needs, and the surveys from the customer to understand the importance of biometric login, because they want to implement this biometric login into this mobile banking app and all. So in the requirement analysis phase, they'll categorize the functional and non-functional requirements, and they'll study about this feasibility. So in requirement analysis state, so they will be categorizing the functional requirement. What is this functional requirements? Like balance check and fund transfer. So non-functional requirements is like app must load within 3 seconds. Okay, this is a functional. So it is like a good characteristic of requirement gathering and all. So what are the some good characteristics of a good requirement will be uh, covered in the coming videos. So on feasibility, like decide the biometric login will be implemented only for premier customers due to some time constraints and all. Fine. What is this specification? Specification is a thing. So specification is nothing but a functional requirement would in detail, functional requirement specification in details, like login functionality, like what are the inputs, like user credentials, process is like authenticate via server, and the output is like success or a failure message. And other functional requirement is like fund transfer is like what are the input, it should be taken pay details and amount, the process like validate account details, and the output is like confirmation request. So these are the requirements, nothing but specification requirement specification document should include some functional requirements and non-functional requirements. So functional requirements as per this example is like some login functionality and fund transfer functionality. So they in those will be included in this requirement specification. The function non-functional requirement about this thing is like it should be loaded within 3 seconds. So this is about the entire all the steps like requirement elicitation analysis and preparing a requirement specification document and all. Requirement specification, in simple words, this requirement specification is nothing but like a guide. So to develop a software, it is software requirement specification is nothing but it is like a guide to develop a software product. Clear? So